Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who knew someone who died at work. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. Dude was hanging out in the break room cracking jokes, laughed, fell over and was dead. Brain aneurysm. It's terrifying how fragile our lives are and how quickly it can end without warning. Might be a blessing as well though. Now that's freaking scary. Every single time I read about this scares me. There's like no warning and there's also no cure for this. So even if you do find out that you have it, you basically can't really do anything. It's just like a ticking bomb. A worker at one of my construction sites got flattened by a precast concrete wall after it fell from the 3rd floor. Everyone who just saw it just froze in place, except one elderly worker who ran around screaming, "Don't call anybody, did he have a helmet on?" Nobody answered him, so he got the crane worker to lift the concrete wall slightly and threw a helmet under the wall before ordering the wall to be lowered again. He did it to make sure that the insurance would pay out the full amount to the poor guy's family. What? That's scary. What even happened? How did it fall from the 3rd floor? I guess just like a freak accident, right? I mean, bless that elderly worker who tried to even think about his family after that happened, because he knew there was no chance of him surviving after that. So if anything, he just had to make sure that their family was going to get paid. Came into work, sat down at a table in the cafeteria, said he was tired, put his head down on his arms and died. It was completely unexpected and it shocked everyone. So I guess that's like a symptom of something, like being tired. Then again, being tired is a symptom of a lot of things. Seriously. If you Google symptoms, I'm tired, tell me what it shows you. I worked at a supermarket in the mid-2000s. We were doing inventory prep one night and the store manager said he was feeling kind of weird. He went to sit down in the office and suffered a fatal heart attack. He was fairly young, late 30s, and in relatively good shape and was a really nice guy, so he hit a lot of us hard. The guy selected to be our new manager was very popular in the company and came in the next day to introduce himself. Seemed like a really cool guy. On the morning with what would have been his first shift at our store, he was killed in a motorcycle accident on his way in. Definitely the craziest work week of my life. Something is cursed. Something is cursed. I guess nobody wants to get that position anymore, right? It's cursed. He was an older guy and wasn't feeling well and went to use the porta potty. Ended up having a heart attack and passing while on the can. He was treasured in the workplace and it was a big loss. This is why you always gotta get your blood checked often, alright? Yearly, because you just never know. So many factors can contribute to a heart attack. I was locking up at the end of the day and saw brake lights flashing on the car of our welder while I was pulling out. I pulled back in to see if everything was okay. He was in the midst of a heart attack. Ambulance was there in 3 minutes, but I watched him fade away in the arms before they arrived. He was a good man and is sorely missed. Most of the time, they just never know what's going on, right? Like they're blackout. So it's a good thing that they're not in pain for a long time, right? But geez, it just sucks for their family, you know, especially if they were an amazing person. My employee, they were my go-to person, a friend, and we chatted constantly even after we transitioned to work from home. Working late one night, we were chatting on Slack while working and he disappeared. 2 hours later, his phone texted me and stated, "This is X's fiance. I found him on the keyboard and he's dead. He won't be into work tomorrow. Please call me at." I'm privileged not to deal with people in shock in my profession. That was heartbreaking and sobering. I'll miss him. That's so crazy because it seems so unreal. The fact that you can talk to someone, right? And then an hour later or so, they're just dead. A student who was chewing on a cap to something while walking in the hallway ended up choking and died. What the heck? I mean, I heard this is why the lids on pens have holes in them, so you can still breathe even if you're choking on it. Jeez. A buddy of mine worked at a FedEx warehouse and ran over a coworker with a forklift and killed him. It was ruled no fault and he, the driver, kept working there afterwards. How? They weren't paying attention or something? What happened? What happened? Construction site. A 30-foot concrete wall toppled over like a domino and smashed 3 people to death. It was my first job and effed me up really bad. Dang, construction sites are freaking scary. The insurance there must be really freaking high, right? Because things like this keep happening. Holy. Buddy of mine worked for a sewage company. He went down a narrow shaft to do maintenance and the fumes overwhelmed him and he passed out and fell down the shaft and died from the trauma. He had a wife and young daughter. He was legit a top 1% human and he still hurts 15 years later. What the heck? There are like no safety precautions to like these things, you know? I used to work for a supermarket chain that would get fresh bread delivered every morning by a separate company. Every day, no matter what, Eric would show up. 7 days a week, he never took a day off. He was the happiest, hardest working guy you could ever meet. The type of person you simply can't be upset around. He worked so hard for all of his kids' future. I used to tell him he's more than earned some time off, even just for a few days to spend time with his kids. He would politely smile and say, everything is an investment. I'm doing this now so I don't have to in the future. Give me a smile and head off to the next delivery. One morning he didn't show up. We were all so confused. He had never missed a day in years. We found out he passed away at 32 of a heart attack, almost certainly from how hard he worked. I've taken numerous lessons away from him to never take life for granted, the importance of work-life balance, etc. The whole situation broke my heart. He never got to see his kids enjoy the money he had worked so hard for. Rest in peace, Eric. That's so sad. This is the saddest. It's the fact that he just kept working for his kids, and it's because he wanted to give his kids the best future that he died. Man, yeah, overworking is never good. Never good for your health. Like, even if you're healthy overall, right? If you overwork yourself, things like this can happen. And there's never a sign. You just think, oh, I'm good, I'm fit, I'm healthy. But if you're like stressed out, it can happen. My first hire as a manager, and it was his first job out of college. I was away on a business trip. He was heading into work one morning and had an asthma attack and died on the platform. I had only known him a few weeks. I went to the funeral, met his family, and actually am still in touch with one of his uncles. Sad for me, but of course nothing like what his family went through. Oh my gosh. Is asthma like a for life thing? Where you just have it forever? Can it be cured or not? Brand new father, picked up by an Uber and left the parking lot when they were broadsided by a drunk driver. Both Uber driver and new father were killed instantly. Drunk driver was a local fireman and didn't attempt to render aid. Why is it always this? The fact that the person who's drunk and driving never dies. It's always the people that they drive into that dies. Like seriously, the villains do be living the longest. I was working on a city security contract. Cheap, observe and report, more cop type stuff. Shift was ending and I was headed back to the city office when I noticed something rather strange. A sleeping bag in the middle of the alleyway. Didn't think anything of it, so I went inside. Garbage truck came through while I was. Didn't put two and two together till I walked outside and smelled it. Garbage truck ran the sleeping bag over with a drug addict inside. Former teacher from what I read later. So they were sleeping in their sleeping bag and the garbage truck just didn't see them, right? Sometimes you just see some people and they just had so much ahead of them, but everything is ruined by something they got addicted to. Well, that's it for the video. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!